Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and this time we are going to repair what is a magnetic induction grill, electric induction, vitroceramic, or however they know it in your country or in your city where you are or live. Well, the fault that this grill has. Let's call it like that. It doesn't ignite absolutely anything, it doesn't give anything. What the client told me is that the only thing that happened is that she was working and that she started to get sparks. Then when she started to get sparks, or she started to smell like burning, and stopped. Work. Well, the video will start around 3.5 minutes if you want to tell him ahead, but I'm going to leave all that because I need to talk a lot of things about the subject. The first is that if you are an electronics technician, I say in appliances or white goods, and if you are afraid of repairing electronics, do not be afraid of it. It is in theory relatively simple. If you already have the white goods bases and it is economical, then the only impediment that there may be, or the only obstacle, is the parts that you do not find in your city. But well, we always have the internet where we can get all these types of grills. When a part is damaged, it is very cheap. Changing them costs 3 pesos, a capacitor 10 pesos, a resistor 3 for 1 peso, some weight diodes, and there are also pages where you can see the replacements. For example, I don't know if this is a diode in this case that was damaged, also a diode, a FR to the numbering, that can be replaced by the Indiana 4001. That is, there are substitutions. You can't necessarily put exactly what it has if there are no substitutions which make it work. Well, just as well. Right now we're going to enter the video then, and already disassembling everything. We also have to disassemble the card. I don't put this because that's already quite simple to disassemble more. Remove screws there, everything there. There's nothing that I can break, and here when I uncover it, I realize that the main fault it has is that it had ants, but ants, that is, a large ant. I imagine that it must bring more in time, so inside the card or thereabouts, but that caused it to practically make short, and what it was doing short. Well, it was practically the ant getting electrocuted. Here I'm going to show you right now what the solution to this one is, and also how the procedures more or less have to be done and how to test this quick things. I'm not going to make a 30 to 40 minute video that. Yes, it is warranted for this type of appliances, but I will try to make it as short as possible. In this case, by having a card, we always have to try to clean with isopropyl alcohol to be able to diagnose a little better, because with isopropyl alcohol, because it does not have moisture, so you avoid damaging more parts or making a short because it did not dry or there is corrosion. Then in this case, since we clean everything, we are going to see that if there is a failure, or yes there is a failure, that the short that caused it. Well, here we can see it. There are several runways flown, and not just one. There are about 3-4 runways which are flown. Look, in this case you see here at the top, here there is a flight here below. We also have another one below. The left, more or less. Then to repair this type of failures, what we have to do is either you bridge with some type with some wire or cable, rather cable or wire as you want this put. The cable is more flexible and thus we revive the track, or the other if you are going to repair or change a part. Usually when there are these types of shorts, what is also damaged is the part that is on that pin. That is, if this little leg, this terminal, there is a capacitor, we check the capacitor. If there is a diode, we check the diode because it is the one that always gets damaged. Usually where the short is, there is the fault. There is no more. It is not like I make a short here. The fault is I do not know where. We test the cable is good, we test the fuse is good. Here was a short, so the short was internal so that the fuse didn't blow. So what we're going to proceed to do in this case, I'm going to show you the 2 ways in quotes of how to bypass it correctly. In this case I'm using a thin wire. That they can use it even if they use them on a breadboard, or a very thin cable is used a lot in electronics. And well, here what we have to do is this, look, or if you have a microwave, everything too, that cable is worth it. The tracks have to be cleaned quite well. that we are going to weld, or where the weld is going to be grabbed here. They can clean it with a charoskita, a knife or something, but in order not to continue breaking the tracks anymore, what is being removed is practically a varnish or a silicone that protects moisture and corrosion is. Easy to remove. It is removed quite easy. Then we clean it super well with isopropyl alcohol so that the track is cleaned super well and does not throw the weld on us. In this case, when checking there, I already checked that diode is wrong. A diode is very easy. Checking only with a multimeter on the continuity scale or on the diode scale brings a black stripe. If you put the multimeter on the negative on that stripe and the positive on the other side, will pass voltage without any problem if you put it upside down. That is, the positive in the black stripe should not pass voltage at all. That is, there should be no polarization. If it happens, that means that your diode is wrong, and if you doubt that suddenly it will catch, that suddenly it does not, then it is recommended that you change it directly. That is, you change it directly. The diodes, as I tell you, are quite cheap. They cost you around 3 pesos, so don't skimp on gas and avoid that. And the most advisable thing is that if there was a short film in that section, then you change those parts, because probably if they are not damaged right now, they are going to be damaged very quickly. Look here, in this case I am going to use this type of wire. Look that it is a common copper wire. Treat it as long as it is copper here first, because we always tin a little, or we make this, we leave a ball of welding, a little ball of welding, and with that it will not be much easier for us to weld the other one as well. Look, in this case I had to change a diode. From there I had to change 2 diodes that were damaged there, which were where just where the short and a resistor was. Right now I'm going to show you what they were and how to replace it. Not the diode, I didn't cut the legs flush, but the diode itself, I made it serve as a bridge. Well, look here, instead of putting this cable on it, that's how it you would do with the diode leg, or with the capacitor leg, or the leg of whatever you are using or are going to use. Also remember that if you have doubts, because they're in the comments, I can help you. There are times that not all the comments appear, I don't know why. And also, if you know a little about this, because instead of criticizing some moment or something better, support to respond to the comments that are in the now. Yes, that in the description. Even if you look here, I am what I try to record. And that's why I got unwelded again, because I'm watching your camera, so I'm not directly recording, and I'm not used to doing that. Although I don't think that criticism will come later, since the community we have is quite good, well, because it's practically all I know. Do this, make a bridge like this, and that's what you're going to do on all the tracks that were blown up, and then you cut it with tweezers or a cutter and clean it again with isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is going to be your ally for electronics, because that will always make you clean and will make you not leave a pig, and another looks more aesthetic. Well, that is already there, so we are going to continue checking the others here. If you have a little dot left, for example there, that the one was welded, tail that I cut from the cable is like this. It is very important to remove it because it can desolder due to overheating, and you can make another short film, so it is very important that you remove all that. This video I leave something that long, because if it is necessary to talk about several things with you, you have already seen. Look, and here is the other one, the other short one. That here was where the ant was directly here, and the same operation we carve, we say, and we weld again, and it is a blow. I just show these two. There are quite a few that need to be repaired. They are 3 or 4 already. I don't remember, and well, look, this is the diode that I had to change, this one here and the one next to the high capacitors. These are the diodes. In this case they were the FR. There, I don't remember that there, it tells you the number. In fact, in The card and also this resistor that is called power resistor, high resistance as you know it, fusible resistance, many know it like this, another one step, because in this case it goes in this part of here and I changed it because it was not me already, I already voltage arrived but it did not reach the ignition card, so I proceeded to change it and let's go. So let's start testing. We already put all that together. If you want me to teach you, make videos of everything technical exactly, then also tell me, I can also do it. What happens is that I don't do it because most of them who see, maybe they are not technicians and they are going to get more bored that I am telling them everything technical, so it is easy, and someone who is a technician does not need me to teach them that, so that's it. It's already learning, it's already working and everything turns on and that's it.